Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio.
Hello everyone. It is wonderful to be with all of you here today on the territories of the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh. My name is Bowen Ma. I serve as MLA for North Vancouver-Lonsdale and as Minister of State for Infrastructure with the province of British Columbia. I am absolutely delighted delighted to be here for the launch of our free transit program for kids 12 and under. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a great list of speakers here today, including the Honourable Rob Fleming, Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure, the Honourable George Heyman, Minister of Environment and Climate Change Strategy, and Minister responsible for TransLink. It's a very long title. We have Kevin Quinn, the CEO of TransLink, Aaron Pinkerton, BC Transit President and CEO, and Vikram Sandhu and his son, Arav, who are among thousands of British Columbians who will benefit from the program that launches today. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the PNE for having us here. It is a wonderful, beautiful day to visit the PNE, and we are so grateful to be able to join you all here. Now, as many of you already know, one of our government's highest priorities has been to make life better and more affordable for British Columbians. If we can help even a little bit to lessen the financial burden of dealing with the day-to-day realities of family living, then that makes a real difference in people's lives. And on top of that, we are also facing one of the greatest challenges of our time. And for once, I am not talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, but of climate change. Transportation accounts for well over a third of British Columbians' GHGs, nearly 40%, and it is imperative that we work to drive down greenhouse gas emissions while keeping people moving. And that's exactly what free transit for kids 12 and under is all about. Greater affordability for families and the enabling of a generation of future transit-oriented travelers. So to tell us more, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Rob Fleming, Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you so much, Bowen, for getting us underway and for that territorial acknowledgement. It's absolutely fantastic to be here at the PNE today, and I just want to begin by saluting all the employees and the leaders in the PNE organization for reopening so that families throughout British Columbia can come here and enjoy this. So thank you to everybody who's worked so hard at the PNE for boldly going forward and having this wonderful fair yet again. The PNE is one of BC's oldest family-friendly fairs in our province, and it is just absolutely magnificent to see families enjoying it once again. I am very pleased to be here today because on behalf of the Government of British Columbia and with my colleagues Bowen and George and with our partners TransLink and BC Transit, we are launching something the first of its kind in all of Canada, and that is a universal free transit pass for kids in communities, all 130 of them serviced by BC Transit and throughout the TransLink region, to ride for free. 370,000 kids, give or take a few, across the province of BC will no longer have to pay fares to get on a bus or to use public transit in our great province. There are lots of cities in Canada that have programs like this, but nobody has ever organized this on a provincial scale, and I'm very, very proud to say that British Columbia is the first and hopefully not the last province to do this. I really want to give a shout out and thanks to BC Transit and to TransLink for everything that they have done. We've lived, as you know, under a time of uncertainty, but one thing that was certain during this time of the pandemic is that transit service was there for everyone when they needed it. Mobility was preserved, and those travel choices were there for all of our citizens to enjoy. And I have to give a huge shout out to all the employees who work in public transit, if they're transit operators or schedulers or whatever function they perform in those organizations. They were there for us, and they're there for us again as we embark on a new program of service for kids throughout our province to ride for free. As you can see behind me, we're trying to get the word out. We've got a wrapped and branded bus. Little secret, ministers aren't supposed to get too involved in granular details, but Bo and Ma had a significant role in designing this logo. So we've got a bit of an artist on our hand, and it looks great, Bowen. Thank you very much for that. BC Transit is going to have branded buses just like this one on the road in communities across BC. It's all about raising public awareness now that this is a new free program for all kids in our province. And it's about benefits that flow to everybody in this province. Investing in clean, green, efficient, and affordable public transit benefits all of us. We're making major investments in terms of transit expansion for people as a government. I'm very pleased that we've broken ground on the Broadway Subway project. That's well in hand. We just announced a Surrey-Langley SkyTrain service, 17 kilometers going out to the Fraser Valley. That's going to be a major line for communities to use and for free for kids 12 and under into the future. But we want to start now. And we want to start before this school year with our Get On Board program. This is going to have long-term benefits for families. The idea, as Bowen said, is to create lifelong habits, lifelong transit users, to create better, more inclusive and sustainable communities in our province. And children riding for free today, as of today, will be regular transit users tomorrow. And that's good for everybody, especially in this era where we seek to tackle together the challenges of climate change. This is good for the economy, it's good for the environment, and the investments that we're making in British Columbia are going to make us even more recognized as a world-class leader in public transportation here in BC. And I want to thank again everyone for coming out today, and I'll turn things back over to Bowen.
Thank you so much, Minister Fleming. You know, a program like this does not happen without a lot of work from a lot of different people. So I want to take a moment to thank all of the staff members who are here and who aren't necessarily here with us today for all of your work in getting this ready. Free transit for kids 12 and under across the province. And our next wonderful speaker is the Honourable George Heyman, Minister of Environment and Climate Change Strategy and Minister responsible for TransLink. Got to get the last bit in.
Thank you so much, Bowen, and also thank you for the territorial acknowledgement. And thank you to the PNE for hosting us. It's such a good joining of kids' issues to announce Kids Ride Free at a place that is such a central part of kids' lives in Metro Vancouver, and it was a central part of my life growing up in the city of Vancouver. The PNE was just a place of great adventure, a place to see other kids, and a place to be together with the family. It's so good to be here with our colleagues from BC Transit and TransLink, as well as the guests who are going to benefit from this program. It's so important for people to have access to affordable and convenient public transportation. It's important for families, as Rob and Bowen have said, but it's also important for the planet. It's important for our province. It's important for our future and our quality of life. This summer, the wildfires, the heat events, the droughts have just made it absolutely crystal clear that climate change impacts are happening today. And we need to take action together to do something about it. We've been doing that for a while through our Clean BC plan, but we know we have much more to do. We know we need to reduce carbon emissions, and we know we need to support a more resilient future for everyone. So part of that is developing sustainable options that are convenient, available, and affordable for people, businesses, and communities. So today what we're saying is we want to help make public transit more affordable for families and encourage, as Rob has said, lifelong transit users. I use transit in large part, because I learned to use transit to take the bus as a kid. We know what the benefits of transit are: the reduced congestion, more connected communities, and less climate and air pollution. So as Rob said, we're making significant investments across BC to expand and improve the quality of our existing public transit network and to decarbonize the existing bus fleets. We know that addressing climate change requires collective action by every level of government, local, provincial, federal, by Indigenous peoples, by businesses, by communities, and by families. We know it means transitioning to cleaner, better ways of making things, including how we build our residences and our businesses, and how we move around, how we create and how we use energy, and how we do it efficiently. Public transportation options are a key part of this, and by choosing public transit, people reduce emissions, tackle road congestion, and help build a cleaner, brighter future for everyone, cleaner air and reduced climate impacts. We know that when we work together, we'll build better communities. Thank you very much.
And now I would like to welcome up to the podium Kevin Quinn, CEO for TransLink.
All right, good morning. Thank you, Bowen. Thank you, Minister Heyman, for your words, and good afternoon, everyone. Making transit free for kids 12 and under, I think, is just such an important step towards raising that next generation of lifelong transit users. I'm a parent. I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son, and I can tell you that I love taking transit with my 2 young kids, and not only because it beats the stress and awfulness of driving, but because it reminds me of how fun transit really is when you see the experience through the eyes of your kids. So just the other weekend, my family and I, we were taking the C bus across over to the North Shore to visit some of the parks and the trails on that side of the water. And the moment my son got on the C bus, he was running to each side of the vessel to look out, to see the beautiful views, the scenery from every angle that he could, because transit is fun. It's a fun thing. And it's not just my kids who think transit is exciting. This double-decker bus behind me here at the P&E exhibit, I just hear all these stories. I've seen kids. We were here this morning. Kids want to get on. They want to get on that bus. They want to run up to the upper deck. They want to run up the stairs and look at the view of the park from up top. So it really doesn't matter what age you are. The views from the SkyTrain as well are some of the best views of any transit experience anywhere in the world. Transit is not just a fun way to get to exciting places. It is fun and exciting itself. And through this initiative, these experiences are now free for so many first-time and young transit users all over the province. So now, when a family wants to see the Canucks or go for a hike or come here to the PNE for a day with their family, transit is an even more attractive option knowing that kids ride free. Not only does this make living here more affordable for the average family, but it makes it easier for young people to start using transit, to start those habits earlier, inspiring them to use transit and using clean energy transportation as adults as well. So I want to thank our provincial government partners for creating this program, making it easier and more affordable for British Columbians to use transit throughout our province. And thank you to the staff here at the PNE for letting us use your space as well. I encourage everyone to drop by, check out the exhibit. It's very cool. Lastly, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Couldn't be more excited about this program. Thank you.
Very exciting indeed. And our next guest speaker is Aaron Pinkerton, BC Transit President and CEO. Hold on.
Good afternoon. Are we afternoon now? I think we are. And thanks everyone for being here, and thanks for having us and for the P&E for hosting us. I was saying earlier, being born and raised on the island, I haven't been to the P&E site since I was 9, I think. So I'm hoping I can get a few rides in before I head back. At BC Transit, we pride ourselves on providing safe and reliable transportation for our customers in all of our systems across British Columbia. So that's about 81 to 83 systems across British Columbia, excluding TransLink's portfolio. And we're very proud and happy to support the province in launching this program. anything we can do to make transit more affordable, to allow children to ride for free, is just part of that larger mandate. And you've heard it from the speakers already. Kids and families, introducing them to a new mode of transportation that's sustainable, that's green, and provides an alternative method of travel for their communities. More families ride together, less cars on the road, less congestion. That's the math we're doing. And it's also, we've talked about this for lifelong users, for creating lifelong users. I grew up in a family with 4 children, 2 working parents, and we used to take the bus after school to our swimming lessons. And we would not have been able to do that if it wasn't for public transportation, given the magnitude of our family. What I can tell you is I learned to love taking public transit. However, my swimming skills never made it to that level. But you do learn things when you start to take transit, and it's an important step for most youth in their progression as into adulthood. And I just want to reiterate, the bus is a safe and convenient place for people of all ages. And so speaking directly to any parents or children that might be new to taking the bus, if you want to participate in this program, don't hesitate to talk to your driver. If you're unsure about your next stop or what route to take, there's lots of information out there. If you're riding the system and have forgotten, our drivers are knowledgeable. They're there to help you. And they're friendly, and this is their job. This is what they want to do. You know, across the province too, drivers are the eyes and the ears of our community. I have countless stories of where our drivers have gone above and beyond just getting where people want to go safely. So just a comforting message that our drivers and our service is there for you. We've talked about this already. 370,000 children are now going to be eligible to ride for free around the province. I mean, this is a big, exciting initiative to launch, and we couldn't be more proud to be in partnership with the province on this. So, I think for those that are out there, if you're a parent and you're a little worried, or you're a kid and you want to ride the bus, I encourage you to think about that. Once you step through those front doors of the bus, this little cliche, you never know how many other doors it's going to open. It really is an access to create that connection between the social and your community that you have out there. And if you're new and you look for information, there's our teams, which I want to thank, and everyone's thanked. Our teams are really taken this in pride and in step. They are supportive of this project. So if you go to bctransit.com, and I'm assuming translink.com has the same information, but there's lots of information on educational videos about how to ride the bus, how to plan your route, and how to feel safe when you're using this service. So once again, BC Transit is extremely excited to launch this program, happy and thankful for the province for supporting in this, and we're ready to welcome all children and families on board our buses across BC. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those words. I believe if you're looking for TransLink information, it's probably translink.ca. There we go, translink.ca, kids ride free, and then we've got bctransit.com. Wonderful. BC Transit and TransLink serve our communities in such an incredibly important way. And they have been even more important over the last 18 months as they've worked to keep people moving throughout the pandemic. This is an absolutely essential service. I am so, so grateful to everyone across the BC Transit and TransLink systems who have worked so hard to keep people safe and moving. And finally, I am very, very pleased to invite our most special and honored guest today, Bikram Sandhu and his son, Arav.
Thank you, Bowen. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here today to celebrate the launch of this new event. And thank you for inviting us to attend and say a few words. I'm Bikram, this is my 12-year-old son, Arav, and we are delighted with this new program. In the past, we would have bought transit passes for Arav and my another 9-year-old son worth over $1,400. And this saving is huge for us. And now that $1,400 we can use in other activities. Both my kids will be able to travel for free on transit, and they take transit all the time for their sports activities coming back from school. And we are so excited that both my boys can travel for free now. And now I will have to say a few words here.
Hello everyone, my name is Arav. I was in grade 6 last year and now I'm heading into grade 7. It is a great age, but it means now I will get free transit. Not only for myself, but for my younger brother and all kids under 12. Like my dad just explained, every year my family spends a lot of money for transit, going to swimming, soccer, and more. I go to school and everything on transit, and that adds up to a lot of money. So today I'm incredibly happy to announce that kids 12 and under ride for free. Thank you very much for making this program a reality. And thank you again for inviting me to attend this launch at the PNE. It's amazing to be here. Thank you.
So as you can see, everyone is extremely excited for this program. And we will continue to work with TransLink and BC Transit in rebuilding transit ridership as well. We know that transit ridership has suffered during the pandemic, but we're confident that investments in public transit will continue to be the right way forward in helping to move people along safely, affordably, and also in the context of climate change. Not only in the immediate post-pandemic context, but also by encouraging families and kids to become new lifelong transit users, we'll be securing the future for a long time, and that was not intentionally meant to sound a lot like a current campaign slogan that's being used right now. Sorry about that. Now, this concludes the formal end of the program. As you can probably tell, I no longer have notes to help guide me here. I'm going to turn it over to our very capable staff in order to help moderate media questions if there are any. Thanks.
Thank you for listening today, and thank you for supporting us with our sponsors. Please go to depictions.media for more information, and click on our contact link and let us know how we can help bring your story and help bring us to a better world. This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.